This is a video about soffit lighting and how we go about installing the downlights. First of all, what we do is walk around the perimeter and we take measurements, and then we decide what light level the customer wants. And then, so at the back here we've gone for 5 lights. We centered this light between this wall here, and we did the same down the other side. And then we measure the gap and evenly install the lights along. This light here did actually land on this gutter pipe here, so we just moved it to the right slightly. And what I'll do now is show you how we go about marking out the lights and finding if we're going to hit a bit of timber or not. This light we've already installed is 500 away from the edge of the house, so as you can see we've marked 500 in here, and we'll go down the other end and mark 500 in that way. This one just landed a bit close to the gutter, so I've just moved it towards me a bit, but that's fine because we've got a big overhang the other side and it'll look fine. What we'll do now is, to get our first hole in, we'll measure from our new mark there, which is 500 off the edge of this wall, to our hole we've already cut for our light. And that is about 63.5 centimeters. So what we'll do now is we'll go into the loft space and measure 63.5 from this position over to here and make sure that we're not hitting any wood. So there's our tape measure on top of our downlight in the center, and as you can see, 63.5 there is in a free gap. So now what I'll do is just keep doing that. I'll go get the other end one in, measure the distance between, and divide the lights in there equally. Now I've just repeated the process down the other side of the house. I've got another 4 in down here, and I'm just popping the downlights in for now to stop any birds or anything flying in the roof space for tonight, because I'm back tomorrow to wire it. Just got to do the front now. I've now got 3 in across the front. Just going to chuck the lights in. Right, I've got the last 2 in and it is pitch black, so I'm packing up for tonight and we'll finish it off tomorrow. This is the start of day 2 now, and we're just trying to get these sensors in position. So up here we did want to put them in the corner here, but we've got timber running straight through the center and in here and one there as well, so there's quite a lot of wood in the way. Now what we're going to do is, I've roughly put the outline of that timber that runs down like that, so I'm thinking we can get this in like that, and it's going to pick up people coming the other side of this wall and definitely pick up people coming out of the back door. But there is a sensor on the front of the building that picks up everyone across the whole front of the building anyway, so this isn't going to be picking up people right down the other end anyway, so that's all good. So what I'm going to do is just drill a little hole here again and put my cable tie up to see what position we're in and go from there. So I've been in the attic and I've found my marker, and it is literally right on the edge of this beam here, so we're good to go. So there's our hole for our sensor, and if you can see that there, that's the beam there, so we're perfect. Just going to repeat the process now for all the sensors. I've measured from this edge in to here, the same as the sensor I've just done over the other side. I'm just going to put my marker in now. And then I'm going to go in the loft, make sure that we're nice and tight to that beam, and hopefully it's all in the same place, and we'll cut this one out. So I've been back up in the roof space, and this one's spot on again. It's right on the edge of that beam. It's always best to do a little pinhole like this, because that pencil, that'll just rub off. And if this hole was in the wrong place, like the timber was different in this part, it's so much easier just to fill that. You could just put a little pin in like this so it would look the same, or a little bit of silicone or something, clean it up, and you'd never notice it was there. If you go cutting holes straight away and hitting structural parts of the roof, it's not good. So it does take a bit of time, especially working on your own. You got to go up down, checking each light or each sensor, but it's worth it because the finish is just far better than if you make a mistake. So I'll go ahead and cut this one out. That's another hole done. I don't know if you can see that, but that is the beam just there. See that? So we are just on the edge of that beam. So that's good. And what we're using here as well, we're installing microwave sensors here. So normal PIRs, passive infrared sensors, they pick up heat, but if you see that there, that's the boiler flue. So in winter, in cold conditions, the heat coming out of that boiler could trigger a PIR sensor because they pick up heat. So we're going to use microwave sensors just to be safe, so you don't get any, because it could turn the lights on and off all the time if it keeps picking up that heat from the boiler. So it's just to make sure that doesn't happen. But these are good. So I'll go along again and get the rest of the holes cut out. So as you can see, I've gone round and I've wired it all. I just crawled around the loft and clipped it and put a loop at every cable and every sensor. So now all I've got to do is go around and connect it all up. So there's our basic sensor connections. We've got live in on the right, a neutral and a live out. This live out, that one there, that's what switches our lights on and off, that one there. There we go, all on and working. They look really good. Yeah, happy days. Sensors working, just got to set them up now. They're just in a test mode. Another job done. There's the front view, looking good.